Renzo, I have a question for you because you always start with a question to me. Now it's my turn.
Oh, payback. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever had long hair?
Oh, that's really personal. And I'm glad that we're working in an audio only format because otherwise I would be forced to show receipts and show the proof. But yes,
Which you will at the end of the show to
no,
me, and
you
I'll
will
tell you
never
guys next
see,
week.
you will never see these pictures. But yes, I definitely had long hair for a while in college. And I even have a passport because I had my picture taken at that time to get a passport. I still have it of me with the long hair
I love it.
and a beard. I look like I don't know, like one of the Bee Gees.
All right. So after we introduce today's sentence and the show, I will ask you what make you cut your hair. But today, the
Oh.
expression, this is just a Spanish phrase. This is the companion podcast to News in Slow Spanish, Spain and Latino. And every week we bring you a new expression with fascinating origin and uses. This week's expression is salvarse por los pelos.
Ooh, literally saved by the hair?
Yes, pretty much like Samson and Delilah, which he
Or
wasn't saved.
yeah, or Rapunzel.
Yes, too. She was saved by the hair. But that is not the origin, though.
No, it's not? It's not
It's
Rapunzel?
not.
Wait a minute. The origin of Saved by the Hair. Well, okay. I'll let you tell me. But I have a theory.
Or go ahead,
Really?
please.
Okay. Because in an episode not long ago, we did a similar expression. I'm sure you remember, colgar de un hilo, hanging by a thread. And in that story, the origin was of the sword of Damocles hanging by a thread, a horsehair. So it's not that. It's not like being
No,
saved by a hair.
it's not at all. It's actually almost the opposite because hanging by a hair, it's
Mhm.
more like impending doom.
Yeah, of course.
Here is like you were saved because you had long hair.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
different.
and in this case, the origin of the expression comes to sailors. At some point, I think it was the 19th century, sailors were requested to cut their hair and they revolted against it because they said, if we cut our hair, we can drown because many times we're saved by being pulled by our hair from drowning, either from falling
What?
from the boat or by like completely drowning. You needed to grab the sailor by their hair, and that is the reason why you're
Oh.
saved by having a long hair.
That
Isn't that
makes that's
fascinating?
amazing, and it makes so much sense. I remember now reading about so the era of the Spanish Armada. So Spain was, expanding the empire and building lots of ships, uh, training and conscripting a lot of sailors. They were getting a lot of people that weren't good swimmers. And I remember reading about this that they were having a lot of sailors join the armada, and they weren't very confident swimmers. So now that makes sense. Having long hair meant literally something to hold on to and pull them out of the water.
Yeah, if you're about to fall, somebody can pull you from your hair, or if you actually fall, somebody who actually swims well
Yeah.
can jump and save you.
Ouch. I
Yes.
mean, I'd rather
I
not
mean,
drown than get my
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
That's the thing. So, what made you back in the day cut your hair? Was it a girlfriend? Was it like a
Oof.
school, a job?
Oh, no, it's actually a pretty cool answer. I was in a play. I was in
Oh,
a show, and the character had to actually a buzz cut. So I went from long hair, like one of the Bee Gees, to clean shaven and very, very, very tight, like close to skin haircut. All gone. And in fact, my friends did it during a party. They took clippers and they shaved my hair off.
that's very symbolic, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know why this makes me think, because I wanted to ask you if anybody noticed that you had cut your hair,
I
because
think
sometimes it could happen that they don't. It's
mm,
something different about you, but I don't know what.
in this case, it was very extreme because I went from looking like one of the Bee Gees to, and this is gonna sound horrible, but looking like a neo-Nazi.
Gee,
I know. I was mortified when all the hair was gone and I looked in the mirror. I I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to be seen.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to come up with creative ways to soften my look so that I didn't look,
So it was very noticeable.
yeah.
That
Because
this,
to be clear, I am not in any way, shape, or form.
if you were, I was not. I would not be sitting next to you.
That's true.
So you would not be hosting this podcast.
No,
So, or you would
definitely
be
not.
on hosting whatever, any other podcast, but not with me. Thank you. This made me think of, the French writer Emmanuel Carrère. He's like a nonfiction writer. In general, he's known for The Adversary, which is a true story of a doctor that pretty much killed all his family. I'm not gonna give spoilers. He also wrote a nonfiction piece called Yoga. He's very good as nonfiction writer, but he has a fiction piece called La Moustache, the mustache,
Uh-huh.
and it's about a guy who shaves his mustache, and his wife doesn't notice. Nobody notices.
Doesn't notice?
Doesn't, and nobody noticed. So the movie is fascinating because it's like you don't know. They made a movie out of it, out of his book. And actually, he directed it, I think. Yes, he did direct it. You don't know if actually there's like a conspiracy to make him believe he's crazy or if he's actually going crazy.
Ooh, I love stories like that where you don't know, where you have a unreliable narrator because
Mhm.
the yeah. Okay, so
Back to the
back to
expression,
the expression.
salvarse por los pelos.
Can you think of an example where something gets like how would you use that in an everyday conversation? Salvado or salvarse por los pelos. How do you get saved by the hair?
Well, a narrow election where the a candidate that is not as bad wins instead of the bad candidate, that would be salvarse por los pelos.
Oh,
It
that's good.
actually, there literally was a news last week about this girl who fell from a Disney cruise and the father jumped ship and saved her.
Yes, I read that, and then the lifeguards had to jump in and get them both out, but the father jumped in first, which is really heroic. Awesome.
Yes, yes. But yeah, there's many examples I can think of, like, I mean, not literally, but somebody about to board a plane that doesn't board the plane and turns out that plane crashes. There's
Oof.
so many stories about that. Or the famous person sitting in the seat 11A of the Air India crash
Oh, that was recent,
recently.
yeah.
Yes, I don't know
Horrible
how.
tragedy, but one person managed to walk out, like, minor injuries out of this crash that
Se salvó por los pelos.
oh, okay, so a narrow escape is how you would use this expression.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, almost like you were lucky. You almost didn't save yourself, but you did.
yeah. Well, there you go. That's how you would use salvarse por los pelos. So when you're think of something where you narrowly escaped a terrible fate, or maybe just an inconvenience in your day, you can say "Me salvé por los pelos." For example, you're on the highway and just before there is you avoid a traffic jam because of some kind of truck pulling over or breaking down in the middle of the highway, but you're right in front of that. You te salvaste por los pelos because you don't have to sit in that traffic jam. You got
That's
just in front
another
of
good example.
it.
Yeah,
It's something really mundane instead of horrible and tragic, but yeah, you can use it like that. And if you want to hear other ways to use this expression, why not check out Using Slow Spanish?
we have two huge catalogs, one for News in Slow Spanish Spain and one for News in Slow Spanish Latino. And all those catalogs have tons of expressions with the origins of the expressions, with dialogue using the expressions 100% in Spanish, the whole dialogue. This is the only time where we speak English. And yeah, check them out. And if you are a subscriber, you can actually practice with other subscribers conversation in Spanish using those expressions, of course.
That's right, with rooms. That's one of the features that we have for subscribers where you can join a conversation. You can start a conversation by picking a topic yourself, and other subscribers, and also sometimes hosts of News and So Spanish, like yours
Us.
truly, us, will join you to talk and use these expressions and talk about all sorts of topics. So, with that, I think we can
Well,
end this episode.
yes.
Nos
And
salvamos por los
nos
pelos.
salvamos por los pelos. We'll see you next time.
Bye.